I'm Louis Clementson, coming to you from Richmond, Virginia. I've been to a lot of interesting places. I've met a lot of fascinating people. I've done some thrilling things, and I've been with some mesmerizing women. But there isn't anything that even compares to the time that I was taken to heaven and I saw Jesus. Yes, I saw Jesus. I was taken to heaven, and I didn't see any fields or golden streets or streams or anything. I just saw him. He was about, I would say, about 2 feet in front of me. And he was standing, and he's a little taller than I am. He's about 6 feet tall. And he was looking directly at me, and he had this huge smile, and he was so happy. It just was overwhelming how happy he was, and I couldn't resist just immediately blurting out, "Lord, you're so happy." And he didn't say anything at that point, but I was given this revelation of why he was so happy. I was shown in the Spirit that all of heaven just permeates with the knowledge and the glory of his mighty redemptive work on the cross. And as heaven knows all this, that he had done this complete work and that there was nothing left for him to do to provide for the needs of man, I understood why he was so happy. And his happiness was contagious. I couldn't help but be happy too. And he was smiling at me, and I smiled back at him. And it was just the most thrilling thing that you can ever imagine. It's the most exciting thing that had ever happened to me. And you cannot look at him and take your eyes off of him. And you can never be with Jesus and ever be the same. He talked to me on several occasions, and each time it was about he wanted me to understand how complete his redemptive work was and how he had provided for all of the needs of man, and that he wanted me to tell others about this. I probably went up there a dozen times, and each time I was just so surprised that he seemed to be happy to be with me. He didn't take his eyes off of me, just like I couldn't take my eyes off of him. And he didn't seem to be at all bored with being with me. And it was a wonderful experience. I've been with a lot of people who seem to be bored to be with me. But here I was with the King of Glory, and he wasn't that way at all. He was very interested and focused on me and was determined to pound into me the reality of his mighty redemptive work, and for me to understand how heaven understands the completeness of his redemptive work. And he asked me, did I want to see anybody when I was there? And I said, yes, I did. And he would bring them to me one at a time. And I knew from the Holy Spirit that I was not to ask them for any kind of guidance, because that's God's sovereign domain, but to ask them, do they have any advice for me? So with each of these saints that came, I would ask them this question, and they would give me their advice. Of course, I saw Paul and Peter and David, and I saw Jonah and Andrew. And it was, again, these amazing people seemed to be perfectly happy to be talking to me, and weren't distracted. They weren't trying to get away from me. They were excited about it as I was. And the thrill of it is just beyond your wildest dreams. And I say again, you can't possibly be with him and take your eyes off of him, off Jesus. And you can't possibly forget about it or ever be the same. And I want to tell you that Jesus is very real. He's very, very real. And his work on the cross to redeem mankind is very, very real. I can tell you that all of heaven knows it's real, and all of heaven just permeates with the knowledge and the glory of what Jesus did for us. And I want you to understand that this is real and that he has done all that's necessary for us, and then he was able to sit down finished. I never saw him sit down. He was always just this far away from me, except for one time when he was waving his arms around, and I saw him full figured. He was waving his arms around because he wanted to show me how complete his redemptive work was. And for you to understand how complete his redemptive work was. And I've put this whole story, this occurred while my wife and I were missionaries in France for 3 years and devoting ourselves to his service. And it's all on a 4 CD set. God bless you.